I went outside of my comfort zone this time actually, and I packed my bags without any packing cubes. For some reason, when I got to adulthood, anxiety really kicked in, and I think it was especially after COVID that it got really bad. I got to the point where I would have like panic attacks boarding planes. I never actually like deboarded a plane or never made it to a trip, but I got very close to seriously considering it. I feel like if you have travel anxiety, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I have recently kind of perfected the art of airplane travel for myself, and so I figured I'd make a little video showing you guys kind of how I prepare for it, how I pack, and how I just travel on the day itself, and the little things I've done to make myself just feel a little bit more at ease, more peaceful, the things I bring to distract myself, and yeah, just also some of the fun stuff I do before a trip, like getting my nails done, getting my hair done. So I filmed the whole process from getting started to landing at my destination, and I'm really excited to show you guys. I also wanted to very quickly thank today's sponsor, which is Level 8. Level 8 has these incredible bags and just luggage in general that they very kindly sent over to me to try out. And I've been traveling with these for 3 months now, and I have nothing but amazing things to say about these suitcases. So you're gonna get to see them as I pack them as well. For the rest, let's get started. On the days leading up to my trip, I tend to make sure that I have everything ready so I'm not packing anything last minute. I find that trying to leave things to last minute is really what contributes to my anxiety, and so I will do things like get my nails done a few days before. This time I even trimmed my hair because it was getting a little bit longer than I like to, and so I decided to kind of, just pamper myself a little bit in preparation for this trip. Also so that my brain starts associating trips with nice things, because you do train your brain to kind of start worrying when it gets closer to the travel date, and I found that making the days before travel days that I get to do things for myself, just makes the experience a little bit more pleasant. Something else I really like to do a few days before my trip is make sure I stock up on all the little essentials that I need for my trip. So these are going to be things like toothpaste in travel size so that they fit in my carry-ons, because we usually only travel with carry-ons, but it's also things like having little wipes with me on the trip, so if I start sweating on the plane from either nerves or whatever, sometimes planes are really warm. I also like to make sure that I have a few of my favorite snacks on hand for the flight. The only thing I ever drink on airplanes is water, because I find that having anything like caffeinated beverages make my anxiety so much worse. I'm going to show you guys a few of the ones that I got, but they included things like a little packet of nuts. They included things like fresh raspberries, which I actually bought a little Tupperware for just for this trip because I really like the idea of eating some raspberries on the flight. I got some of my favorite little bars that have berries inside, and I try not to eat a lot of junk on the plane because, again, anything too sugary that's gonna kind of give me a sugar spike and bring me back down, I find just is very unhelpful. Something I find makes a trip more enjoyable if you're looking forward to eating your snacks, but you have to be smart about what snacks you choose. I went outside of my comfort zone this time actually, and I packed my bags without any packing cubes. And I actually have packing cubes from Level 8. They sent them to me as well. And I'm gonna put the video right here for, I can never remember which height it is, if it's here or here. I'll put the link somewhere up here for you guys to see how I packed the Level 8 suitcases with their packing cubes, which, don't get me wrong, I loved it. But I wanted to see if I could also use these luggages without packing cubes. Because one, I know that a lot of you guys don't like packing with packing cubes, which is totally fair. But also, I just sometimes have things that are too bulky to fit in packing cubes. I feel like packing for summer weather is great with packing cubes, but then when you get to like fall, winter, it gets a little bit more complicated because one packing cube will only fit like 2 sputters. I wanted to give it a try. This suitcase in particular has 2 separate parts, and so they each zip up on their own. And I think that this is one of the biggest reasons I've never tried to pack without packing cubes, because the suitcase I had previously had just one flap, and then it had little strings to keep everything together, but you could see everything that was in there when you open it, right? So, you know, I don't know, I got kind of uncomfortable with people just being able to peek inside my suitcase. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, Level 8 is very kindly sponsoring this video. They were super kind and gave one to me and my husband because my husband saw the first bag that they sent and was obsessed, and so he really was always asking me if he could use it, and so I asked him if I could have two, and they said yes. I think the main selling point for me really is that these slide so smooth on airplane or airport floors. I cannot tell you, I filmed myself a little bit trying to like push the bag around with just one finger, but I don't think it does justice to just how heavy these bags were. These, I feel like the bag keeps escaping. I think the only thing that's a downside to me is that you have to be really careful if there's any kind of ramp, because your bag will escape and there's no way to put brakes on the wheels. But that's a great problem to have, in my opinion. It's much better than the inverse of having to like drag your bag. These also were no problem with any of the low-cost airlines here in Europe. So I'm talking Ryanair, Transavia, and EasyJet. I've flown on all three with these bags and they've not been a problem sizing wise. If you're interested in getting one of these beautiful bags or gifting them to someone for Christmas, which is coming up, I'm gonna leave my discount code down below so you can enjoy 10% off of your purchase. I only recommend things that I really genuinely like, so you don't have to worry that I'm just, you know, trying to make bank from you guys. I also use these moments to do things like charge all of the devices I'm gonna want on the airplane with me. So things like AirPods, e-reader, you name it, power bank too, because I like taking a power bank with me. And then this just makes it so as soon as they're charged, I can pack them and also pack the charging cables, which makes it so that I avoid forgetting the charging cables. Which, yeah, I just think that when I get anxious before a trip, my brain kind of stops functioning and thinking in a logical way. And so those are the kinds of things that end up getting left behind, like my e-reader charger. In the same kind of line of thought is downloading shows. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've had my husband ask us to go last in the boarding process because he forgot to download something, and he's now like scavenging to have it download like at the airport. And so this is something I've gotten in a really good habit of doing, is downloading shows, podcasts, ebooks. I tend to like to take something serious and something funny. So imagine like reality TV and like, I don't know, a documentary or a movie that's a little bit heavier. And this way I can kind of choose what to watch depending on my mood. I will also say that another really good travel hack for people who are anxious is to bring something on the plane with you that you've been really excited to read or watch or try. And so if right before a trip, say like a month before a trip, the new season of the show I love comes out, I don't let myself watch it and I save it for the flight. And this way I'm like really looking forward to the flight, and if reprogramming your brain to see travel as something to look forward to versus something to kind of get anxious about. I also like to use this time to do things like download any apps. So I'll usually download the airlines app because I find that this is where you get all the good updates. So this time we were flying TAP, so I downloaded the TAP airline. I made sure to sign in. I checked us in as well. So as soon as you can, do that so you're not waiting till the last minute. Turn the notifications on for the airlines app, and this way when there's any delays or something's changed, I'll get the push notification on my phone, which again just makes me feel a little bit more calm that if something happens, if a gate changes, I'll get notified. I also really like to pack a little emergency pouch for trips with things like pads, band-aids, paracetamols, stomach medication for when you feel a little bit nauseous. I just take like 1 or 2 of each, Imodium for if you need it. I just always have it with me, and this way I know I have kind of like a little first aid center with me, and I don't have to rely on asking for help if something happens. Also, I've now put tissues everywhere when I travel because this had never happened to me. But one time we were on our way to Tokyo and I had a nosebleed for the first time in my life. And so I got blood on everything. And this is not to scare you, but just I find having tissues on hand just very easy. Last but not least, I like to make sure that I have all of my important documents. I like to travel with both my national ID and my passport when I'm in Europe so that if I lose one, I still have the other. I'm sure that if you're in the States, the equivalent of this could be maybe your passport and your driver's license. Things like insurance cards, I make sure I have all my insurance information. I make sure to give numbers or addresses to anyone who might need them. So for example, I tend to give my mom the information of whoever's watching our bigger dog, Theo, because my mom watches our little dog, Benji. If you're gonna travel soon, I wish you the safest travels. Please let me know in the comments down below what's part of your routine that maybe isn't part of mine that I might want to consider adding to mine. I'm really curious to know how different your kind of preparation process is for travel, if I'm just type A or if everyone is like this. So yeah, I've rambled on. If you are still here right now, please leave me a blue heart in the comments so that I know that you are loyal to watching this video, or you got stuck with it and have no remote and I'm on your TV and you can't turn me off right now. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.